Hello everyone, it's Halloween Heartthrob, and today I'll be showing you 3 different methods to use up all of your scraps. Now, if you're a seamstress like me, or a seamster, someone who sews a lot or does a lot of craft projects, this can also help if you have some scrap paper or cardboard around, or if you want to make something small. So, let's get into it! The first craft I'll be starting off with is a fabric scrapbook, as I'd like to call it, and I just used some old cereal boxes and some like Amazon or shipping boxes that I've had laying around the house. What you want to do first is find out a good book size that you would like your book to be. So I did that, and then what I did for the spine was I just measured out how tall the book was and just made it the width of my ruler, just to make it a little bit easier for myself. So the only things you'll really need are your scraps, glue, cardboard and cardstock, a hole puncher, and some ribbon. How I bound this book was I took a piece of ribbon and I pushed it through all of my pages on one side, stuck it through the middle of my cardboard binding, and then up through the other side of the book, and I tied it so there's supposed to be even amounts of pages on each side, just to give it a nice balanced look. And there you have your basic book. All the pages are made out of cereal box front and backs, and I just made it slightly smaller than the actual book itself and punch holes in it. Now that your book is assembled, you can go ahead and cover it with paint or extra scrapbook paper, whatever you have to make it look nice and pretty, and cover it with your scraps to your heart's content. Our next craft will require some of your bigger scraps. So what I'm doing is I'm separating my scraps that are just a little bit bigger than normal, or are like handkerchief or tissue size, things that I can easily cut up and use for our next project, which is going to be a bag, or you can use it as a purse or little basket. Next, for this project, you'll need a piece of paper and a pencil to draw out your pattern, of course, with the help of a cat. Now, my pattern piece is going to be a 2x2 inch square, because the project we will be making is patchwork, or quilt, very bad form of quilting. Now with your pattern piece, you'll want to cut out little squares out of your fabric, as many as you can. I tried to make a nice big stockpile, so if I made too many that I could just use it for a different project. But I used a Walmart bag as my template. So what I started to do is take a couple of squares and just kind of lay them over the bag to see how many squares I would need across and on side. And what I ended up with is needing 5 squares across and 3 squares for the sides of the bag. Now this part, you don't have to have a sewing machine, you can easily hand sew it, it will just take a whole lot longer. So you'll take your first square and your second square and fold them good side to good side, and then you'll sew down one side of it. After those two have been sewn together, you'll take another square, just like you did the first two, good sides to good sides, and then you'll sew the next two together. So you'll have 3 squares sewn together. I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but it's really easy, and as long as you continue to do it in the pattern that you've made yourself, it's pretty easy. After you've sewn 2 rows of squares, you'll want to sew them together to start making the base of your bag, and all you do is just take the 2 rows together, and just like regular fabric, you put them good side to good side and sew them down one side, and you just have to continue that until you start getting the bag. However, for the bottom, what I did was I reversed the way that I stitched, so the good side to bad side, to give it more of a structure. However, you don't have to do it, I just did it so it would force the bag to face upwards. Once you've got your bag to the size that you would like, to finish it off you can either add straps to it, but I just decided to leave it as more of a basket kind of bag. All you need to do is take the top row of squares, fold them over and sew on top, so it's just basically hemming. And you can totally add a strap and make this a cool bag and some lining if you would like, or make this into a blanket for yourself or your dolls. But I had a lot of fun making this because it was the first time I've ever done something like it, and it was cool. But what I'm going to do with it is I'm just going to use it as a cover for my bag of scraps that I already have, so it looks a little bit more cute. I'm really surprised. I thought this scrap bag was going to look a lot more uncoordinated than it kind of does. I know it doesn't match completely, but I'm super happy with it, and yay! I'm using my scraps. Recycling is fun. For our final project, we'll be using all of those little scraps and pretty much any size scrap that you want as stuffing. So to describe this, I'm going to make a tiny Barbie pillow out of white scrap that I already have. Basically what you're going to do is whatever plush that you already have made, if you don't want to have to go out and buy polyfill or teddy bear fluff or beads, and you just want something nice and cute, you can use your fabric scraps to stuff it and then just close it off as any other. It's a nice, quick, and easy way where you can recycle your scraps and you don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch more stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun making these crafts. Actually, this little book right here is something that I've been wanting to make for a while, and I think it came out pretty good. I have a couple of pages that are simple or more covered. I don't know, it's like one of those baby texture books that I like a lot, and I got to use some scrap paper that I wasn't using before, and I have this cool little book thing to use. So I really hope that these projects or ideas were helpful to you in any way, and let me know what you do with your scraps down in the comments below. So like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye!